Hi there. Last time you saw me move all the bulkheads, and it was a bit complicated because I also decided to make a new set of bulkheads for the second hull. These bulkheads that will be incorporated into the hull. I'm now ready to start covering the top side of the hull. I put some masking tape on the stations, and I have prepared strips, and I adjusted some of the stations here in front so that they fit better. Now it's a very nice line here, and it will work on the sides as well. So now I can start putting strips on the top. So let's do that. I make sure that the distance for the crossbeam is correct, 170 millimeters. I will make the tower for the crossbeam in 4 millimeter plywood. It's strong enough and easy to work with. Moreover, I have a stash of leftovers from other projects. Cutting is as easy as cutting a cake. With the belt sander I can achieve high precision, so that the fit is good. I continue with the tower for the front crossbeam. I cut a larger piece for the beam to rest on. I measure out a small piece to cover the rest of the tower. The hatches need a flat area to be installed on. Thus I cut out more pieces of 4 millimeter plywood. Move inside. And try them out. For the flat area between the towers I will also use 4 millimeter plywood. This is a large area, so I need to use a new board of plywood. This will fit. The size of the box for the board is also flat. So this could also be cut from the same plywood board. It will fit after some trimming. It will be easier to build the sides if I have access from the hatch openings. Thus I measure out for the hatch opening. By temporarily locking the hatch in place, it's easy to draw the outline of the opening. I cut it out with a jigsaw and cut carefully along the line to avoid more work. This looks fine. The front deck has a more complicated shape, with an angle between the main deck and the hatch deck. Here I will install a smaller hatch. But the procedure for cutting out the hatch opening is the same. The rest of the deck will be built with strips. Someone suggested in the comments to use straps under the staples. It should be easier to remove the staples after the epoxy layer. Another thing I will try here on the aft deck is to cut strips according to the relative width of each bulkhead. I install the beveled strip next to the middle strip and continue with the rest of the strips. In the front I have not yet taped the edge, so I had to do that. The sides are also made up of strips. I staple where necessary and do a coarse trimming. Here I will test the new scarfing method. The sides are without hard bends, thus only a few staples are needed. Here is a too thin strip, and I need to make it thicker. Thus I glue on an extra strip and clamp it in place. In the angled areas I need to transfer the angle to the strip and cut it out. Not yet a fine fit. I have to trim to make it fit. This looks better. And better. Until it fits well. I glue it in place with a few dots of wood glue. Tape and staples keep it in place while curing. The rest of the area is built the same way. Also in the other side I use dot gluing as a temporary solution. As this is a prototype, I have to adjust as I build. I think a tapered shape will make it possible to transition from a flat to a bendy surface. Thus I cut off the corners of the hatch deck. Yeah, this looks like it will work. I could mount short strips like this. With the tapered edge of the hatch, I will get a longer bonding area between the strip and the plywood. I made several short and large shape changes in the front. Now I have to pay for it with a lot of staples and tape. The tapered area needs clamps to hold while the glue is curing. This is a particularly tricky area. A lot of sewing. With almost no gain in covered area. A flat area is faster to cover. It will take me several days to trim pieces to cover this area, with a lot of practical problem solving. I have found dot gluing very useful. For this complicated shape, I can't think of a better solution. With clamps you can hold awkward strips in place. But now I need to get drastical. I will need to lower the temperature as I need to put on protective gear. With covering clothing, gloves and mask, I scoop up some lightweight epoxy filler. I'm mixing this up for the trickiest bend. Here I can't get the strips to take the shape change. And I do not get good contact between the strips. The filler will cover me in this exposed situation. As I have made excess, I use it for other less nice areas. Then I can raise the temperature again and let it cure. And do some easier areas. I know that it looks uneven. It will get nicer later on. This will be a weak area I might need to strengthen later on. Here the shape change is so fast, so I will need to use the short side of the strip. After gluing and curing, I can cut off the excess. Soon I'm covered. Clamps can't be used on the last strip. Thus, I need to work with small bends and short pieces of strip. It gets messy. The last strip has an odd shape. Needs clamp treatment. And staples. Before it can be pressed in place. This is the result of today's episode. Welcome back, and then I hope you will be glued to it.